Today's Feel Good Food is a minestrone soup.
It's a really hearty soup that's got so many veg in it, it makes it super nutritious. We've got onions, carrots, celery, beans, kale, so much going on. Plus, very low in fat, okay, just a little bit of oil and some smoky bacon. But other than that, virtually fat-free.
Cool.
Okay, but full-on flavour, which starts with the base, so onion, carrot and celery. Between us, if we can just chop that up all fairly small, as a peeler for the carrot.
Thank you.
What am I doing, slicing this?
Yep, so take top and tail it,
presents.
and then cut it as small as you can. What you can do is go that way first.
Oh, so little chunks.
Yeah.
How would you like the carrot chopped?
Similar sort of thing, so cut slices, cut into long strips and cut it small. The smaller it is, the better.
You a soup fan?
I am a soup fan.
Yeah, what's your favourite soup?
Sure, I like soups are so useful, aren't they? They're just so quick.
Yeah.
Quick to do. We actually did a miso soup the other week.
Ah, that one was brilliant, wasn't it?
Well, I don't normally like it, but it was just full of flavour. It was really, really good. With tofu in it. Tofu.
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 A generous glug of oil in the pan, because you've got good quality extra virgin olive oil, and we can start to cook off our onion, carrot and celery in there, which is the base to many soups. Okay, we're now going to add all the bits that make this a minestrone, and remember we've cut them up nice and small because we're not going to blend it. Okay, so we're going to be eating those bits later on. Yes. The bit that makes it so special, we've got some bacon, smoky bacon. So if we can take just a couple of rashers of that, that's all it needs, and we can just cut that up. James, a clove of garlic.
Yes.
Do the same with that, nice and fine.
Could you cut the fat off the bacon completely if you wanted to?
Yes, in fact, I think we should take the excess rind off.
Yeah?
And then the bit that's marbled in the middle can stay, but we try and keep as much of the fat out of this dish as possible.
Yeah.
Except for that good quality olive oil we started with.
Minestrone is one of those really hearty soups, isn't it?
Well, minestrone literally means big soup in Italian, and it's all about putting in whatever's left at the end of the week into the soup, which is why it's big, because sometimes it can have so much going on in it, but that's absolutely fine. Packed out with beans and fresh veg, and that's why it's so nutritious.
I think that's the best way to cook, with stuff that's left over, or stuff that you've just got in the fridge or the cupboard at the end of the week. It's not going to last. If you've got something in your repertoire that you can just chuck it all in at the end of the week and make use of it, it's brilliant.
Soups and stir fries.
Yeah, definitely. This is like the perfect combination, but you can mix and match any of them and add whatever else you've got. Now we can get all of that bacon and garlic in there, giving all the rest of the veg a bit of a head start.
Lovely. And there we go. Garlic.
And that's a beautiful smoky flavour that comes from the bacon. You can also use ham. If you've got like a ham hock, it can already be cooked bacon, but you can throw that in there as well.
Brilliant.
What about something like pancetta? Would that work, or is that a bit too over the top?
No, it would be absolutely brilliant if that's what you've got. Basically use whatever you have. As soon as that bacon's had some colour, we can add in our stock. I'm simply going to add in 1.5 litres of water. So if you can crumble in 1 vegetable stock cube.
Sure. That's a lot of water.
Yeah.
Well, it's a big soup.
Oh, there we go then.
Minestrone.
How many people will this serve? One.
Plenty here for 4.
All right, okay.
I mean, this is the whole meal.
Yeah.
You know, you've got a big portion, but the soup will give you everything you need in it. Now, we've put veg stock in, but if you've recently boiled a ham or something, then you might have some ham stock left over. The water you've used to boil it, that can go in as well, extra flavour. That's what they would traditionally have done in Italy. Bring that up to boil and let it simmer gently for about 15 minutes until the carrot goes nice and soft, and then we can add in all our extra flavours, and that's the bit that makes this soup special. Now that the carrot is nice and soft, we can add in our other bits. So the tomatoes, that's kind of a tomato base to this sauce. A whole tin of those goes in there. The same whole tin of beans. We've gone for cannellini beans. If you pop those in there as well. And then all good minestrone should have some sort of pasta. Traditionally, you might get something like spaghetti, which has been cut up into strands, but I found these, which are pretty cool.
Oh,
Stelletti.
stars.
Very, very small star shape. The smaller the pasta, the better, because you don't want them too big. They will swell. But that can all go in there as well. And they'll only take sort of 5 or 6 minutes to cook, which is perfect. In the meantime, we can chop up our kale. This is really, seriously, feel-good food. It's like a wonder food, kale. It's even
Superfood.
High in iron?
Very high, even more so than spinach. So people think spinach and Popeye is really good for you. Kale is even better. So if you can get hold of it, brilliant. You can just run a knife through it to make it a bit smaller.
And this is cabbage from the cabbage family, isn't it?
Yes, it's a brassicas family. So cabbage, cauliflower,
Sounds like a
broccoli, they're all the same.
Now, what are we doing differently to this minestrone than the Italians would traditionally do?
I think kale is one of those. I think they'd often put leafy greens in, but something like a cabbage would be what they would use. We're going to go with kale, because it's perfect at this time of year. Plus the pasta. We've changed the pasta up. You can mix up the beans. Basically, take the principles and then pick your favourite, and or whatever you've got in the cupboard. And to finish up the soup, some fresh herbs. We've got fresh parsley. If you can just give that a rough chop.
you want me to do that?
You can do that.
Fantastic.
So what are we serving this with?
Absolutely nothing. It's got all the beans and the pasta and the veg in there. So unlike a normal soup where you might pack it out with bread, which is very carb heavy, you don't need that because a little bit of pasta, the beans, you've already got plenty in there.
Wow.
One pot dish.
Delight, indeed. Throw your parsley in there, Jay.
Yep.
Final step, we'll stir that through. And that is one beautiful minestrone.
Lovely.
We'll get a generous serving
Oh, yes.
into our bowl.
Could you grate some parmesan over the top?
That would be beautiful, absolutely.
Always thinking of a bit extra.
Yeah.
There we go. Tidy that
Oh,
up.
look at the colours.
Really fresh. Still a bit of crunch on all those veg, but cooked all the way through. There it is, minestrone. We're gonna have to grab a spoon each.
Looking forward to this one.
Tell us what you think.
You can actually taste that that's good for you.
Yeah.
What do you think about cool pasta?
I like cool pasta.
Stiletti?
I really like the smoke flavour from the bacon though. I think that absolutely makes
And it
it.
really was only, what, 2-3 rashers? And it's brilliant that it's so low in fat and full of nutrients and tastes good.
For loads more feel-good food, make sure you're subscribed to the Body Talk channel.
And for the full recipe and ingredients list, head over to sortedfood.com.
Impressive food without the dairy. The absolute finishing touches, a few almonds on top, and there we go. It's as simple as that. So have a taste.
I love the lemon in there.
It just brings it to life at the last moment.
Yeah.
The sultanas, you kind of get a bit of a pop. Crunch from the almonds.
So why is this feel good food then?
Well, if you can't have dairy, then this is an amazing lacto-free dessert that's still just as creamy.